Journalist and author Bari Weiss, she appeared on Bill Maher's show on Friday to talk about just how done she is. She's just done with COVID. She's done with the restrictions. She's done with all the rules and regulations. She's done because that's all we needed to hear, right? That means it's over now. Now, so since she thinks her fatigue means so much to ending the pandemic, there was another journalist, Walker Bragman. He decided to juxtapose her being done with healthcare workers that are actually done and actually have COVID fatigue. Let's watch this mashup from Bragman here.
I'm done.
With this question?
No, I'm done with COVID.
A lot of people are like, I'm done. I can't keep doing this because it's gonna destroy my own health.
Oh,
I'm done. It's like I went so hard on COVID.
I sat in that room and I held his hand and I listened to 20 people say goodbye to him. And he was just one story out of thousands.
I remember.
Sprayed the Pringles cans that I bought at the grocery store, stripped my clothes off because I thought COVID would be on my clothes.
The upside is when they go home, but during this, it's hard to put into words, but they may not be with us anymore, see? That's when it all really is let out.
Like, I did it all. I watched Tiger King, I got to the end of Spotify. Like, we all did it, right?
The worst thing is when we do our ward books in the morning and it's when the amount of RIPs outnumbers the ones that have made it down to the wards. And I think that's when it really kicks in. And they're a lot younger in the first wave, sorry. I remember thinking that could be mum, that could be my aunt, and now I'm thinking that could be me, that could be my brother, my boyfriend.
No, we didn't all do it.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of us did do it. And then we were told, you get the vaccine. You get the vaccine and you get back to normal.
I've been an ICU full-time for about 7 years. The last 2, I have been full-time through the pandemic, picking up overtime when I can. And burnout has affected me quite close to home. In November and December, I made the decision that I just, for my own mental health, I had to take a step back.
And we haven't gotten back to normal.
It's just so awful to take care of the parents of dependent children who they have a 5-year-old or a grade school kid at home or younger. It's awful.
And it's ridiculous at this point.
That was an incredible mashup by Walker Bragman. So it's ridiculous at this point, she says, and I'm tired of it. There's laughter. I mean, yes, everyone has laughed when we're talking about the COVID pandemic and things that have happened. But when you're talking about how you're ready for this to not be over, I'm through. I did all the precautions. I wore the masks. I got vaccinated. They told me I'd be fine then. Are you still here breathing? Are you on the show on a huge platform talking about how tired you are of things? Because there's people all across the world who aren't talking at all. They're not speaking, they're dead. And they got family members and friends who are never gonna forget saying their last goodbyes. And these healthcare workers that had to facilitate those last goodbyes with sometimes iPads and FaceTimes. Imagine seeing your parents die over FaceTime, because that's what it was made for. Or not being able to go visit them when you're hearing about how badly they're doing. She's done with it though. I'm finished. I put my mask on and it hurt my ear. You know what? My mask hurts my ear too. Where is it? I hate those masks. It hurts my ear. You know when I was done with COVID? I was done with COVID on March 20th, 2020. That's when I was done with COVID. Does that mean anything to COVID? COVID doesn't care about if you're done with it. COVID is doing what it does. It's spreading and it's infecting people. Now, if we want to respond to it because we're done with it, that might be some kind of a constructive thing to do instead of just saying, I'm done with it. This is the basis for how we as Americans always approach things. I'm just done with it. I don't care. We don't run COVID. We don't run viruses. We don't run, well, we run health, but we don't run it very well, at least as far as access to it for everyone. But we're definitely not in control of things like this. But we somehow told the entire country, if you just say you're done with it and you show up with your guns, it's gonna go away. It's that kind of pompous approach to things is what will make you lose to something like this. And if you wanna get behind and past something, the collective group of society has to do things to move forward to get to at least as good as we can get on this. We're not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be all wonderful, but you have to try. And if you get tired of it, look at the people who are working in it. Cenk.
Yeah, as you were talking, JR, it occurred to me that I'm actually a little surprised they haven't tried to shoot COVID yet. It's like that scene in Don't Look Up where they try to shoot the meteor. Yeah. Look, here's the problem. It's difficult to have reasonable conversations because of conservatives. Because the minute you say Omicron is weaker than the other strains, because it is, they go, I know it, man. No, you didn't know anything. The other strains were incredibly strong and killed over 5 million people. I knew it. No, you're an idiot. You didn't know anything. And that's why probably family members of yours died because of your ignorance. So now when she pretends as if she's conservative, she pretends as if conservatives, were doing the right things all along. I think what Maher was saying there is, no, you didn't, right? And that's a rare thing that I'll agree with Maher on these days. Although he loves bringing on anti-Muslim bigots like Bari Weiss. That's his favorite go-to move. But I give credit where credit is due. And in fact, Maher had done a segment where he talked about how Democrats are too panicked now. There is some truth to that. There's a stat out saying that Democrats think that if you get COVID, you have a 50% chance of dying. That isn't true at all. You have, if you're unvaccinated, you have a couple of percentage points of dying, which is way too high. I don't want to take a 2% chance of dying or my loved ones dying. That's nuts, right? That's playing Russian roulette with your life. But yes, at some point, health officials will say, hey, you know what? With the masks and with the vaccines, people are going to be all right. Unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. But her just saying to everyone we're done is going to be interpreted by right-wing mouth breathers, in this case, quite literally, as, oh, I knew it, man, no masks, no vaccines, go endanger everyone. No, get a vaccine, save your life, save other people's lives. And then hopefully, collectively, when the scientists and doctors say it, we'll all be done.
Will actually be done.
Yes.
We'll get there, maybe, we'll see.